In the past couple of years, I've done a number of no buys and low buy challenges. And through this whole process, I've learned quite a lot, not only about myself and my shopping habits and what really triggers me and tempts me to buy things, but also ways that I can strengthen myself and help myself persevere those purchasing impulses. And today I wanted to share a few little hacks and tricks on how to persevere and keep motivated during a no buy or a low buy. So the first thing might be quite obvious, but I also think is the easiest and most effective thing to do is to really stay away from what tempts you. So stay away from shops, whether it's physical stores, online stores, stay away from scenarios and situations that you know will tempt you. Maybe it's certain social events where people are dressed up really stylishly and that you know that will trigger you to want to buy stuff as well. Maybe it is certain sales events that you want to stay away from. Just know what is most difficult for you to withstand and then do yourself the favor and stay away from those places. So for me, that is, for one, shops, so physical stores. I rarely go into them, but I have noticed that when I do, I get really tempted. So the last time that happened, for one, was when my brother was in town visiting and he wanted to buy a few things here and there. So we went into Uniqlo and I noticed that, wow, they have really stylish stuff and really nice basics, and it's also affordable. And look at this, I don't have this, I don't have that. And it really got me tempted and thinking about buying things. And also when we were in Paris traveling just a week ago, we also went into a few shops and into a mall, and I definitely noticed my mood and my thought patterns changing and definitely shifting more towards wanting to buy stuff. In contrast to when I'm walking through a park or just in different scenarios, I don't think about buying things and don't feel as tempted to buy stuff as in clothing stores. Also for me, the app Vinted, where you can buy and resell old used clothes, is also really tempting for me because I see all the nice stuff that people are reselling and I think to myself, well, it's sustainable, it's cheap, why not treat yourself to something? So yeah, that is also an app that I want to stay away from on my pursuit of minimalism and owning less. Especially when you're starting out your no buy or low buy journey and you're still quite vulnerable and susceptible to shopping urges. Try to stay away, but also know that each time you manage to say no to a purchase, you're really strengthening your inner power when it comes to resisting consumption and purchases like that. So sometimes those more challenging situations and scenarios also can help you and strengthen you and help you grow when it comes to no buys and low buys. But again, tailor this to how tempting it will be for you. So don't go into any scenarios that will just be too difficult for you to withstand, but sometimes those practices can be helpful as well, since you cannot shield yourself from stores and advertisements and all those things that tempt you forever. So it's nice to strengthen that no. The second thing I like to have are little mantras, you could call them. So anytime I feel tempted, I would remind myself that I'm here to collect memories and not things in my life. And it is a little reminder that helps me remember why I'm pursuing minimalism, why no buys and low buys are important to me. And it just brings me back to my motivation and the why of why I'm doing this challenge or doing a no buy. Other mantras I like to do are things can't make you happy. That is also a great reminder that sometimes we get tricked into believing that this item will make me happy. In the end, it's sharing and relationships and memories and moments that make you happy, not the item itself. And another thing I like to remind myself of is, what other thing could I have done with this money that would have brought myself more value? So if I see so for me it's mainly clothes, so I see something that I really like and I find really pretty and want to buy, I think to myself, okay, that cost, let's say 40 euros. What could I do with 40 euros that I would like so much more, that I would love so much more? So maybe it's a night stay somewhere, or maybe it's 2-3 dinners, or maybe it's a mini golf activity and going to the movie. So those things would actually bring me so much more joy and happiness than buying that dress or that shirt or whatever it is. And I like to remind myself that money that I'm spending there is opportunity lost in a sense. I could have spent that money somewhere else that could have brought me so much more value and joy. Number 3, something that's really helpful when having or pursuing a no buy or low buy is having allies. So having friends or family that are on the same page as you. They don't necessarily have to do the no buy or low buy along with you, but that just know that you're pursuing this, know why you're doing this, your values, your goals. And so in those moments of weakness, you can go to them and be honest and say, hey, I'm really struggling right now because I'm really tempted to buy this or that. Can you maybe help me? And they would then respond with compassion and kindness and help you take a step back and take a breather, maybe think about this for a day, and just help you detach emotionally from that item and help you figure out also in a very rational way why maybe this might not be the best idea, or at least talk you through whether this purchase really makes sense or not. Because sometimes we can get so wrapped up in our own minds and in this loop of reasoning why we need this, why this is great, and we get this emotional attachment to the item that is then so difficult to separate from, and we feel like we absolutely need this when in fact that is not true most of the time. So having someone that can, like an accountability partner, can be really helpful in situations like those. Next thing to keep in mind is we need to have a mindset shift happen within us. It will just make the whole no buy, low buy process so much more easier. So we all want success and wealth, but when we think of success and wealth, we think of financial wealth and financial success. We think of this dream of being able to afford and to buy anything, anytime, anywhere. And we think of these luxury travels, luxury hotel stays, luxury clothes, luxury cars, luxury houses. And we think that that is the goal, that is what we all aspire to, and that is what will make us happy. But we're confusing wealth with financial wealth. I would say we need to redefine wealth to be things that we actually cannot buy. So things like health and relationships and time, those are things we all cannot buy. And when we have a lot of those, that is when we're truly wealthy, and that is what brings us true value and peace and happiness. So spending more time buying things, that just takes us further away from true wealth. It keeps us chained to material slavery. We have to keep working to keep buying, and we keep buying as a way of life to try to obtain this supposed goal of financial wealth, when we're looking at it all wrong. All the wealth that we would want, that would make us happy, is not gained by financial wealth. So this consumerism and this strive for more stuff is going down the completely wrong path. We should be striving for more time, health, and relationships. And through buying less, we can afford to maybe also work less. And through working less, we have more time to invest into relationships, to invest into our health, and to do things that truly ignites our passion, that brings us happiness. So the next point is think about the inner journey. So I've kind of touched on this when it comes to needing to shift your mindset. So when you're doing a low buy or no buy, yes, it's also with the purpose of owning less and saving money, but it is not only that. The purpose of challenges like these is also to grow within, to be able to better withstand the temptation of consumerism, to learn about ourselves, how we operate, what triggers us, what tempts us, how do we think, and to take a step back and be able to observe ourselves, observe our thoughts, observe our behaviors. It is far too easy for us to just agree with the thing and to buy the thing, to indulge in anything, and it's so much more difficult for us to withstand and say no to an item. And that is something that we have to practice to strengthen that no. Practice breaking the cycle of purchasing and know that every time you fail or fall, but then get back up, those are the times that you are really strengthening that inner power to go against purchases. Also, I think it is really helpful to know and understand the power that we're up against, since a lot of times when we find ourselves in these tempting situations, maybe we slip up and we buy something that we didn't mean to buy and didn't want to buy, we get really down about it. Sometimes we shame ourselves. We might feel guilt, a lack of self-confidence. Maybe we even feel weak because we feel like logically we know we don't want to buy more stuff, but emotionally it's just so difficult to control in a sense. And I think it's helpful to understand the mechanisms that are going on behind the scenes in a sense. So the goal of companies is to make money. That is their main goal. And in order to make money, they need you to spend money to give to them. Since that is their main goal, they will put a lot of effort and money into getting you to give them your money. It is crazy how much money, millions and billions of dollars and euros, that companies spend on advertising, which basically is trying to persuade you or trick you into giving them your money. Also, governments want you to spend more money, since the more money you spend, the better that is for the economy of the country, the better that is for politics, the better that is for the growth of the country. We live in a very capitalistic society, and that just means that it is all about money in a sense. So there are all these big forces that are trying to entice you and persuade you to spend your money. So it's this huge army in a sense that you're up against as a single person, and that can be so difficult to battle. That doesn't mean that you should give up, and it doesn't mean that it's impossible, but that is just to get you to understand how difficult this battle in a sense actually is. So give yourself grace in the moments where you do feel weak and you do slip up and buy something. I think understanding the power and the force that is behind it also helps you be more gentle and understanding towards yourself, and not beat yourself up that way and not discourage you, but to motivate you to keep going. And the next thing to help you to keep at it is to write down each time you were able to withstand a purchase. So a lot of times this challenge that we do seems quite invisible, or the accomplishments seem quite invisible in the sense that you don't see all the stuff that you didn't buy, but instead you only see the things that you do buy in your physical world. So we can change that by bringing all of the things we didn't buy into a more physical world. So write down each time you were able to withstand a purchase. What was it? What was the scenario? Maybe how did you feel? And keep it like a list or like a diary. And I think it's a good idea to, in moments when you do doubt yourself, doubt the challenge, and doubt your capabilities, to go back and read all your accomplishments in a sense, to see, wow, I've managed to withstand all that. I can withstand the coming temptations as well. I think it's always helpful to remind ourselves of our accomplishments and to celebrate those, and not only look forward to the challenges, but also look back and remind ourselves of what we're capable of as encouragement in a sense. So you're encouraging yourself and giving yourself a pep talk that you can do this and you know why you want to do this. So these were my tips on how to stay motivated during your no buy and low buy. Some of these were practical things that you can put into practice right away. A lot of these were also just internal mindset shifts that will help you better withstand no buys and low buys. So maybe journal a little bit about this topic, a few thoughts that you have, maybe that will help you see things from different perspectives and help you gain that strength that we all want and need to withstand those tempting purchases. I'm right there with you. I also have so many moments where I think to myself, well, wouldn't that be nice just to buy that one thing? And then sometimes one thing leads to another and we get back into the habit of buying a bunch of stuff. but we can just start with a clean slate again, and then start with our no buy, low buy challenge again. I think it's something that we need to continuously practice saying that no. So I'm currently also on a low/no buy. I'm kind of doing both, so no clothes, but then also a low buy for everything else. So I'm only buying 15 items this year. I did a whole video explaining, I guess, my rules, you could call it. I'll link it down below or here in the cards. I'd be really excited to know what kind of no buy or low buy you are currently doing. We can encourage each other down in the comments and also inspire each other, because I'm always looking for a new no or low buy challenge to do for maybe next year. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful in some way, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That really supports me and my channel to make more videos. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.